Okay, welcome back to episode 2. We're going to talk about exchanging value versus using value. Exchanging value is like being a commodities trader. You click a button and you're essentially just the middleman making sure this person is buying commodity A from person B, and you have to mediate the exchange, which isn't a problem because sometimes being the producer of something is as much work as you can handle, and you can't find your own buyer, especially if you're going across the world or something like that, or if you have a very baseline commodity like soybeans or corn. You're not going to find every single dairy farmer who needs that, or every single processing plant that's going to use it. You take it to one elevator and then they disperse it. That's their job to do the rest of it. The problem, though, is when being the middleman and the person who's exchanging the commodity is more lucrative than the person who actually made the fucking thing. Because without it, you wouldn't be able to exchange it. Without that person having that first base input of producing the commodity, the exchanger, the trader, would not have a job. So it seems distorted that it's more financially beneficial to just sit behind a computer and click a button. And the way it's gotten like this is because we've objectified all the labor that we put into a product, a commodity. And when someone sees something at the grocery store, they don't see the farmer who raised it, the person who transported it, the fuel that was used to do all this, or they don't even see the commodities trader who was mediating it. They just see a gallon of milk on the store shelf. And when you just see a gallon of milk, you're essentially just seeing numbers on a spreadsheet and abstracting all that work into that plastic jug. You're not actually seeing the tens or hundreds of hands that went into making this. And so you lose sight of how valuable everything you really have is, because if you forget who helped you have this, you can become arrogant and not appreciative. Because labor is basically the only thing we have to give. And so if you're turning someone else into a number on a spreadsheet, the same thing is happening to you, which personally I don't want for myself or other people. But use value is, this food will nourish me, this jacket will keep me warm in the winter. It is the very practical reason. And exchange value is much more subjective. It's based off the perception we have of a product. It's based off the time you buy it. Is it really convenient to get? Are you trying to buy your electricity at 5 p.m. when everyone else is at home? Are you in Africa? Do you even have electricity? How much would you be willing to pay if you were in some developing country? And it's also based off who is buying it. Like Coca-Cola, they know their consumers over in India make substantially less, so they charge less than they would charge in the US, but they're still getting a similar product. That's because their exchange value is turned up to extract the most value out of every single person that they can. If they know someone's only able to pay, I don't know how much a rupee is really worth, but like if someone's only able to pay 5 rupees instead of $5. That's what Coca-Cola will take, because it's what they can get, and that's all they want. They'll extract every ounce of profit that they can, similar to like gig apps, using spot pricing for their workers and customers, or airlines using higher prices for more affluent neighborhoods and zip codes. Or if you go to the public library and use their computer, you'll get the best deals on airlines that you can. This exchange value is, and the perception built around it, is basically what we would just call branding nowadays. The same t-shirt made from Vietnam in the same factory that's sold at Walmart will be triple the price if it has a Nike swoosh on it. Which, I mean, sure, if that's what you want to associate your identity with, is a brand, pay triple for it. But the problem, as I see it, is that we are told from a very young age, from cartoons to the commercials in between them, what to value and essentially what to think. And I just don't like that, because once you understand it's a marketer's job or someone else's job to make something so appealing and that you can't put it down, that's when you start to reevaluate your relationship with social media, processed food, things like that, other technologies. And I guess, to quote Marx in his first preface to Capital, because obviously if I'm reading Capital I have to talk about it, it's like someone doing yoga or being vegan. But Perseus wore a magic cap so that the monsters he hunted down might not see him. We draw the magic cap down over our own eyes and ears so as to deny that there are any monsters at all. I guess basically what I take that as, the magic cap for us is consumerism. We use all these niceties and worldly pleasures to distract ourselves from other problems in the world. You know, you're not happy with climate change? Just go home and binge a season of Squid Games to get your frustration out about how capitalism blows. Because then we can just distract ourselves and feel like we're engaging with it. I guess, shit, that's not any different from what I'm doing right now. Well, I guess I'm not really consuming, but I guess the reason I see consumerism as the numbing, the opiate of the masses, is because it's also a dual-edged sword. It is one of the root causes of so much unhappiness and anxiety in modern life, I believe, because we are endlessly pursuing more, and we want to collect and have things that we could exchange, but we're not using them. We're not using them at all. We just want to have the idea of exchanging them available to us. But this is ultimately like Sisyphus pushing his boulder up the hill. It's endless, and you know, it's not going to be very fruitful in most cases, unless, you know, you have the Camus stance on it. But I suppose the point I want to try and make is, rather than, you know, having all our money spent on fluff and just kind of bogus. You know, that labor that we exchange part of our soul, not just our time for, wasn't just a number on someone's spreadsheet. What if that labor was truly measured for what it was worth in relation to, you know, the actual time you spent producing something of quality and you earnestly spent working? Because I understand that, you know, training and like there is skill to basically anything you do. There's a learning curve. But if you're doom scrolling at work, but you're technically putting in time, you get no money. But the person who's covering to make up the slack, they should get double the standard rate. I mean, that's basically paying someone per job, not hourly wage. But I don't see why that's such a controversial take, rather than measuring things by the US dollar, which is itself a commodity that fluctuates and is subject to hundreds of variables. You know, something so arbitrary to measure our worth. What if our worth was actually measured with, you know, what we put into this world? Crazy. You know, and if that's how we measured worth, you know, you could actually pull yourself up by the bootstraps, which, you know, people love to say when I say, yeah, I'm struggling financially. Oh, you just gotta work a little harder, bud. Yeah, how about you lick my bootstraps?